Hello again, our friends in the crypto world, DeFi, IoT. Hey, went to go to the bank today. It's like, just play day down here in South America. And the banks are closed for Carnival. You know what else is coming? A digital ID is going to be introduced by the banking system through the World Economic Forum. What's that mean for you and I? Maybe we should talk about that right now. All right, so look, first thing I want to say is this. It's Carnival down here in Latin America, and we need to go do some banking today. We're working. We're doing things normal. We're not taking Carnival off. It doesn't pertain to us. We want to keep moving forward. We're entrepreneurs. My father always said, you want to be the best in football, then you need to practice when everybody else is resting. And in business, you need to work when everybody else is not working. So I've adapted that philosophy. Now, do I take time for my family and so forth? Yes, I do. But I take time when I know I'm at that point in the game where I can take some time, where I can leave people to get it done for me. So my competition doesn't ever sneak up and pass us up. Now, that's not what I want to talk about today. What I want to do is I want to give a pun for cryptocurrencies, because our account went to the bank today to do some transactions. Come back, it's closed. I asked her, are the crypto platforms closed? She said to me, it's a smile. Obviously not. They're open, and that's what we like about it. Now, here's what I want to talk about too. There are new regulations coming out in the United States of America with the Treasury, with SEC, and with the IRS. With the Treasury and the SEC, we're starting to get some clarification on things, especially for those who want to mine, who want to stake. However, with the IRS, it's still very vague, and there's some lawsuits going on right now to force judges, or actually have judges force the IRS into making decisions. And that leads to the next step I want to talk about today. You got the World Economic Forum, along with the FATF, the FATF. These are all governing regulatory type of agencies that want to make sure that cryptocurrencies, or even all currencies, and that in generality, are not being used for any type of nefarious purposes, right? For our safety. And Canada just recently showed that the government with the banking system are collaborated. They can work hand in hand together at any moment. In other words, you have a constitution, but if there's a state of emergency, they can suspend that constitution. We've seen that in Canada, and we're watching it right now, what's going on with Russia. Whether you are for or against Putin in Russia, the idea is the same, and they can do it to anybody. They are actually eliminating the SWIFT now from Russia. So won't be able to move their monies or their assets around from banks to banks internationally, which is pretty much going to freeze the country. Now, what about any other country that decides, like Nevis or the Caymans or Belize, or now Dubai, which is another video I'm going to do tomorrow, allowing you actually to be able to have a tax haven. In other words, not to evade taxes, but to actually force the government to only charge you reasonable taxes. I'm not anti-tax. I'm just anti-government regulation and anti-government reaching in my pocket and taking what I risked for and what I worked for. I'll help sustain my country. Remember something, we go back prior to taxes, and we have better economies in the United States of America. All right, look, we have less corruption too. Corruption starts when you have money flowing through the hands, and then greed comes in, and they can take it from you. Now, look, what I want to talk about today is along those same lines. As far as the greed goes, World Economic Forum now is promoting through Canadian banks. You can go on here to the website. You can see here, Kim Everson. She has. I'll leave the link down below so you can access this yourself. It's a video. You can watch this video on the World Economic Forum, and what they're trying to implement. Well, she's gonna highlight Canada, and I've heard of other stories where these same type ideas are being implemented in other countries, especially in China. They want to implement a digital ID, and the best way they can do it, because the government cannot go and force you to do that in a lot of these Western, more, I guess, freer countries, right? We have more of our civil rights protected. So what they're doing is they're going through the banking industry, and whatever you do, you're going to have to use that digital ID, like to renew your driver's license, to actually sign up for any type of a government program, to actually do your banking, and even to a point they can get to, and she'll make this point, for your security when you go online. You're going to have to enter a digital ID. Now, that's the future. What they want to do right now is a little more immediate and through the banking system. Look, the banking systems are already extreme in KYC. We down here, we have to worry about our accounts. We have to have different accounts set up through all of our different partners. Like we have enough partners to move money every month so that they don't freeze our account. It's getting ridiculous. If we explain things, it's not good enough for them, especially if it's in crypto, where the laws are still vague down here in some of these countries. They just come in and just say, can't do it, and block the accounts. Now, this is my argument, and this is my point. I don't like it, but I see something, a necessity that's going to come from this. You're going to have the metaverse. You're going to have digital IDs. Whether we like it or don't like it, it's going that direction. With the whole voter scandal in the US and all these issues and around the countries in the world, in Latin America, the same problems they have with their elections, etc. So if they have these digital IDs to be implemented, and like I said, down here, the banks are already basically at that. You have to go in, they photo you, they video you, you have to give these certain passwords before they'll even talk to you about your issue or your account. So the last thing you need now is just to have this ID, maybe a thumbprint or whatever. And that in some banks here is already happening. Even when you're going and traveling now, when I left the United States, coming down the last trip, they forced me not to show my passport. They forced me to put my eyes into a scanner. Digital IDs are already here. They're just now being implemented because of this whole health issue or safety. Here's my point. Where can we then benefit from this? I don't like it. I'm going to fight against it. But I also realize that it's going to be a long road in that fight. So where can I benefit from this then? Definitely not by giving into it. I'm not saying that. But when we get back to now, where is this information going to be held? In private servers? Yeah, to some degree. Those are big expenses for governments, and most governments are usually behind the times in their technology. So they're going to need to hold that someplace. Well, they're going to have to hold that in big storage data, or I should say data storage centers. Okay, that's the government. And they can work out their own issues. They can work it out with AWS, with Amazon or Google or Microsoft, or they can build their own data centers as well. But what about us? What about us that want to maintain that privacy? Where are we going to store our data? And this is the point I want to make. We have been seeing a need for decentralized data storage along the likes of those of SC Prime and maybe even REVOFI. We're at to test them. They're still new. And other types of decentralized data storage that are out there. You have others that kind of go along those lines, Holo, et cetera, and those that are other types of data storage centers, decentralized data storage centers. It's very different. SC Prime seems to me to be leading the way. And we'll do another video this week that they will be in Las Vegas in April at a show. And we're going to show you how you can get into that show for free. Actually, it's $150. You can get into it for free. And you can actually go and meet all these different cloud, decentralized data storage, or even centralized data storage companies. Crypto, non-crypto. What I want to make today is this, and I'll leave a link down below for even REVOFI. Keep in mind that REVOFI is still unproven. SC Prime is still also unproven, though it's gone through its beta stage. It's in it now, actually. And there were precursors to SC Prime. I think SC Prime has actually kind of got a better concept and handle on what is going to be needed as far as the standard goes. And so we are very bullish on SC Prime. We're not saying that's the only company out there. We're going to go to Las Vegas and meet with them. I've actually asked for a personal meeting with them that we'll schedule so we can talk to them more in depth. We like what they're doing with their project. They have every week, you can go on YouTube and find it too, a question and answer where they give like an AMA type of a meeting that they do on a weekly basis. They do an East Coast and West Coast time frame, so you can get involved and you can ask questions. They're very open and accessible. My point is not to promote SC Prime here. My point is to let you guys know that there is continuing to grow this need for data storage and to be decentralized and privatized. And that's an area that we see is going to grow. Remember, they expect the whole metaverse, the data storage area, to be over $800 billion in the next 6 to 8 years of revenue, annual revenue there. So it's an area that we're looking towards getting in now, signing up for it. You can sign up for your SC Prime now. I'll put a link down below to SC Prime as well. You got to get on a waiting list. I highly recommend you consider what we're talking about now. Do your own homework on this, but we feel it's going to be a good area down the road. Are you going to make a lot of money on it now? No, I'm not going to promise that. I'm not going to promise you that even SC Prime in and of itself is going to be successful. I'm just saying that the cloud data storage, the decentralized, privatized data storage is going to be a necessity with so much government reaching now in intervention and ability to be able to cross over traditional banking systems and or areas and systems that were normally held private in the past. We're going to need to be able to hold that data more privately. Does that mean we're going to avoid a digital ID? Well, those are two different fruits here, or fruits and vegetables, I should say. However, it does also show that some of that's going to need to be stored, or that's going to be stored. Where's it going to be stored at? Well, that's a question. That's open for debate. The other is we have the metaverse, we have the digital currencies coming. Everything looks to be going digital. But let me just say this in closing. It's going to go digital. And look at how the governments right now are able to do what they're doing with the SWIFT. SWIFT is really actually digital. Think about it. Currency does not ever move from bank to bank internationally. It's digitally and it's in balance, and that SWIFT keeps us balanced between all these different other banks and other types of currencies. So if they can do that now to Russia and shut that down, or they can shut down anybody they want to, because they've done it to people in the past too, that they want to go out and find, as long as they get a group of people or some people or a country or leaders of a country that agree that, yeah, that person's bad or that group is bad, like the poor truckers that nothing wanted to do is just stand up for their free agency to be able to make choices, which in Canada, to my understanding, under our Constitution, they're able to do. My ex-wife is Canadian. I know a little bit about that, but not everything. However, cloud data storage, decentralized and protected, secure, is going to be a market niche that I feel we need to move into here at DeFi IoT, in an area that I suggest you look into yourself. This video, I just want to base off that. I'll put the links for SC Prime below as well as you can look at Kim Everson's video. It's not very long. I suggest you do, so you can get a better idea of what is coming. DeFi IoT. Look, if you like what we're doing and you haven't subscribed yet, make that red subscribe button turn gray. Give us a thumbs up. Hit the bell. We're doing videos pretty much every day. I'm going to be leaving here, traveling, going back to get some more hardware. I'll do videos, send them out. Won't be with the best backdrops and so forth, but I'll be communicating with you on new things coming up. Also this week, I want to talk to you about some new projects they're talking to us about. We're not sure about. A little bit questionable. They might have something to them. And we're not going to promote it. We want to actually put out there what people are asking us to promote and let you guys decide, let us know what you think if we should promote it or not promote it. Now look, I don't like to promote anything unless I am actually using it, and I don't promote. The idea here is we actually share with you what our experience is. Some of these people now are getting hold of us. We've got a few more followers, and they're asking us to promote. They've been starting to do that over the last few months. And I thought, well, I don't want to blow these guys off because there might be some opportunities there, but I haven't experimented yet. So the idea we have here is to share with you what they're asking us to do and giving you the parameters, reading some of the white papers, reviewing those white papers with you, and then letting you tell us if you think it's something we should look into or not look into. Letting us as a community make some decisions will help experiment so you guys don't have to. And if other people want to do that with us too, we can do that. We can communicate with each other and help other people know if this is good or not so good. DeFi IoT Latin America. We'll see you tomorrow. We hope you enjoyed this segment of our video with DeFi IoT. Remember, we're not professional advisors. We do this as a business, as a hobby, and we study, we experiment, and we want to share it with you. If you can get some benefit from this, great. What we do is we go out, we purchase with our own money, and we experiment to see what true results are. We want you to be able to share in our experiences so you don't have to lose like we have. If you can win where we've won, fantastic. Remember to do your own research and your own homework. It's very important before you make any decisions. We will see you in our next video.